Thank you for staying with us. Our coverage of Alec Murdaugh on trial for killing his wife and youngest son continues with expert analysis of day 2 of what happened in that courtroom in Walterboro. Ronnie Richter is an attorney who's watching the proceedings very closely and helping give context to all that's happening. Mr. Richter, thank you again for being with us.
Thank you.
We heard from Riley Benson just a few minutes ago, day 2 of the trial, and he said some of these themes are starting to come out through pretrial motions. And one thing that he said was decided right at the end of the court proceedings today was about ballistics. Can you tell us more about what that means?
Yeah, so we're learning some more about the evidence from the state side. They've been pretty quiet so far. This motion practice is each lawyer trying to knock pieces off the board from the other team. And so Team Murdaugh is seeking to exclude certain evidence from the trial. Some of that evidence deals with ballistics, and what we learned today was at the murder scene there were shell casings near Maggie's body, and those shell casings were fired from a particular gun that left particular marks on the casings. Now elsewhere on the property, on the gun range and near the house, the same style of casing was also found, and when tested it left the same marks. So the state would advance that as proof that the shells, the shots that killed Maggie were fired from the same gun, and that was a gun that was in Murdaugh's house. Now the criticism from Team Murdaugh was, it's not as if this is a fingerprint or DNA stamp. You know, can you say with confidence that the same model of gun firing the same type of round wouldn't leave the same types of marks? So they're challenging the reliability of that evidence. But you're hearing that from the state, that beyond the other evidence they do have this evidence. Judge Newman properly ruled that all of those arguments simply go to the weight. We'll let the jury hear all these arguments about why you shouldn't believe that evidence. But to hear the state, they would tell you that the shells that killed Maggie are the exact same shells that otherwise exist on the property, and that the gun that fired them left the exact same marks.
Judge Clifton Newman also had to decide on some other themes associated. When we hear about themes, what does that mean, Mr. Richter, in terms of what might come out in these pretrial motions and what we might hear later during the court proceedings?
Yeah, this is all important because tomorrow they're going to open. They're going to talk to the jury for the first time. This is when promises are made, right? And so for both sides, you don't want to promise something that you cannot deliver. And so for the state, when they open up, Alex Murdaugh murdered his wife and son, and we're going to prove how. And this is how it happened. The evidence will show you this. All right, so in these all-important pretrial evidentiary motions, we need to know, is this evidence going to stand or not? Because I don't want to promise to the jury they're going to see evidence that the judge is later going to exclude. So an important body of evidence for the state. They want to use evidence of his past financial crimes as evidence of a motive as to why he would have killed his wife and son. And of course, Team Murdaugh says that has nothing to do with it. If Alex has been charged with 99 separate financial crimes, none of which he's been convicted of, how does that prove that he had a motive to kill his wife and his son?
Did Judge Newman rule on that today?
Judge Newman correctly found that he's not going to rule on that, that evidence is typically ruled upon as it's offered. So the risk is with the state now. Do you say to the jury that here's my theory? Alex was under this enormous financial pressure. His world was collapsing on him. And because of these financial crimes and his desire to keep them hidden, that was his incentive to kill his wife and son. Now, if you put that out there to the jury, and then Judge Newman, at the time the evidence is actually offered, says, I don't believe that that's relevant to whether or not he had motive to kill his wife and his son, you've got a big problem. You've got a big gap in your case. You made a promise that you can't deliver.
Blood spatter is also a very big part of the conversation. We've heard a lot about that. Blood spatter was initially said to be on the shirt and then not on the shirt. It's gone back and forth a couple of times. What is the decision on whether blood spatter is going to be allowed into evidence?
We don't have one.
Okay.
And for me, this was the most surprising thing that happened today. As it has been advanced, this blood spatter evidence was a centerpiece of the prosecution's case, that we can prove that Alex Murdaugh was there, we can prove that he participated because he had not just blood on his shirt, but blood spatter. Blood spatter is high velocity blood, it's not blood transfer. So it would prove that he was in close proximity to someone when they got shot. So you would think that's a key piece and an important piece of the prosecution. Team Murdaugh challenged that evidence because the way that shirt was tested, the way that evidence was handled, They complain that it's destroyed the integrity of the evidence.
So this is a key finding.
A key finding. Now, this matter comes up for ruling before Judge Newman today. It was teed up to be argued. And what the state said was, we're just going to withdraw it for now. If and when we decide to offer that evidence into trial, then we can argue this, but we're not going to tell the jury anything about it.
So that might be a very essential thing for people to pay attention to, because certainly you think that blood spatter was a big part of what the state was going to present. Well,
and if you're the state and you thought you had that evidence, you would fight to present that evidence. You would want to tell the jury immediately, Alex Murdaugh murdered his wife and son, and I can prove how there was blood spatter on his shirt. Now, if they can't say that because they're uncertain as to whether that evidence is good and whether it will actually make it into the trial, here again, it's a big chink in the armor.
We've got just about a couple of more seconds. One thing that happened today, jury selection. It was a big jury pool, about 300 possible jurors. That number a lot smaller right now.
Right, we started with 300. We struck those down to 122 just based upon general qualifications. So of that 122, tonight, 20 names will be randomly pulled out of the hat. In the morning, each of the teams will have 4 strikes. 20 will become 12. We'll sit that jury and we'll start that trial.
All right. Ronnie Richter, thank you so much for your time and insight. We appreciate it.